Hey guys, it's Joey from Ballahack. I got my new SSG-24 from Novrich. Never been fired before. I've got Christopher's Run Cam, Scope Cam on there. It's a new product from Run Cam. Vortex Diamondback Tactical Scope, and Novrich 4.6 BBs. And I am pretty hyped to try this thing out, man.
We're starting off shooting snow at 300 feet that we have marked out. Never been fired. This is going to be lit. First shot. Whoa!
That go way over his head?
Yeah, clean over his head. Was it straight?
Yeah, it seems straight.
Okay, so do 2 clicks down. Firing again.
You get him?
Yep, you hit his arm. Go for center mass this time, so you know.
Oh, yeah.
Fraction to the left. So the cool thing about this scope is, show them real quick the 0.
So if I want to adjust left, just go left like that. And then I can reset my 0 by pulling it out, letting it snap back in like that. So that's my new 0. So if I run into a situation where there's got some windage or something, I can just quickly boop, and I can go back to my 0.
Now in these next few shots, there's a combination between the gun breaking in and barrel rotation, which I'll explain at the end with a handful of tips on sniping.
Going to the left and the right.
Yeah.
You're also not standing with one leg forward as much, in my opinion. Bracing.
If you're not laying prone or you're not using a bipod and you're going to stand, you need a solid base of support.
And forgive me, but I would hold it as far forward as you can for stability.
Boy.
Hit him at the leg. Nice. Oop.
Oh, what was that? You all right, man?
He's all right.
Okay.
There it is. Oh, God. All right, so it's definitely breaking in by going more centered.
It was going to the left and right, but now it's breaking in. There it is.
Oh.
Oh. Was he ready for that? I was just wanting to see how quickly I could get to that range.
So you've got like 5 shots on his legs. And 1 on his arm.
Well, I'm getting a little bit higher then.
Arm. Ow.
Trying to aim center mass. Oh, it's empty.
Empty. All right, now I'm going to try shooting Joey with his new SSG and see what's up. Dude, that pull is like nothing. You ready? Why didn't you have it more magnified? Dude, you should have it more magnified than that.
You can zoom it.
I am. Ooh. Okay, that was above. Oh, I wasn't filming with the scope. Sorry. All right, we ready? hip. Headshot.
That's a headshot. Yep.
Oh.
I called it right about halfway. I said that's a head.
That's a good shot.
A chest shot? Sorry, Joey, but there's a level of things when it comes to being the swamps. Chest shot again. I would say this thing's pretty darn accurate, brother. Hello. Do you mind if Snow takes a couple? Yeah. Now Snow's gonna shoot him a foot above, right in the center. Got a little spread to his legs, which is good. Oh. Ooh, I thought that was going right into him.
That last shot was a victim of barrel rotation. He now tries to overcompensate by thinking the round will go left, but he's holding it straight.
Right. That one didn't curve.
Replicate how you hold it. That gives it that left or right. If you're a 32nd of an inch to the side, it will curve that way after 200 feet. And she chronos with 4 6s.
I think that's just below 550.
No, that's illegal.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Really?
Because it's 388 is your cutoff for 4.0s.
Can we get the 4
Go get the 4.0s. Let's see what she is with 4.0s.
Might have to break it in.
All right, so he's shooting just under 10 over, which the gun will break in. One easy way to do that is just leave the bolt compressed for a day or two. I would check it after a day to make sure you're not trying to break it in too much, but it will find a settling point, and mine was about 15 under what I first started with. We're trying it with 0.4s now. All right, max is 388 with 0.4s. Let's see how much he really needs to break it in. 397. So again, about 10 over. 95. This is with a Gen 2 M150 spring. So while it's currently illegal, it will definitely break into where it's just inside the legal limit. Press the bolt and fire about 50 more rounds through it, and you might get there. All right, so a few quick tips on when you get a new rifle, guys. Don't freak out if it doesn't shoot perfectly right off of the bat. You're talking about freshly manufactured parts that are metal and plastic that have not had rounds pounded through it yet, and you can expect a small break-in period. Different guns have a longer break-in period. Strongly suggest that you clean your gun when you first get it to make sure that there's nothing inside of it. A few things we learned from that video. One thing is you want to make sure that your stance is not like a soldier, so you're not trying to balance in this direction. You want to make sure that you have a nice wide spread to your legs and that you can stabilize your gun, which is why I suggest you hold it as far forward as you can. If you're holding it back here, it's very easy to get off of target and it can get very exhausting. So hold it as far forward as you can. You don't need to crisscross it. There's a level of validity to having, stabilization as far as you can on your rifle when shooting. Another thing is barrel rotation. This gun, in my opinion, has a perfect inner barrel setup, but it's very easy to, after a long range, if you develop a bad habit, to have it slightly twisted to the side. After about 200 feet, that round's gonna curve towards that side because the hop-up is spinning it up. Well, now it's spinning it up and to the left or up and to the right. Some people might not realize if they don't snipe a lot, or depending on the gun, how it responds, that they might have a bad habit of slightly holding it a certain way, which you don't need to worry about at close range. It doesn't take effect within the first 200 feet normally. Now the problem could be that your inner barrel is slightly rotated, at which point, if you disassemble the gun and reassemble it carefully, in most cases, you can get that inner barrel to be set perfectly. If it isn't set perfectly, you got a gun and you're out there on the field operating, then you can learn how to just slightly adjust it to where you can get that round to shoot dead straight. Magnification. This scope is a 4x12. Most of my scopes, I only have it set to a 4 times magnification. That way I can maintain some peripheral and I'm not super tunnel visioned in, so I can't see the guy running up just to the right of my target that's about to put rounds into me. So I like to keep it at 4x. Unless you're taking a shot like at past 250 feet, if you have the option, you can bring it up to 6x, 7, or 8 so that you can actually see where the rounds are going. It's a long distance and the round is only 6 millimeters big. So keep that in mind. If you've got it, use it. I suggest that you guys have a long setting and a shorter, more average setting for your gun, and that you make sure that it's zeroed in and you understand how your rifle works at both distances of magnification. Another thing, so that you don't freak out, a lot of people are buying these Gen 2 N150 springs and are like, oh no, it's not legal, just like Joey's, just like this gun. All you have to do is leave the spring compressed, and it's compressed like that still, overnight. Now, you don't want to leave it compressed for too terribly long, so maybe leave it compressed for shorter periods of time, then test it on chrono. But what I've ultimately found is I'm going to drop between 10 to 15 FPS at least on this gun through either regular use or through like forced break-in like this. Another option would be to cut the spring. I don't like doing that, but you can watch one of Novrich's videos to see how to cut the spring on one of the sniper rifles, which would apply to any sniper rifle. Hop-up on this thing, I love an external hop-up. I love a hop-up that actually has a click to it. It's not too smooth, and it's not impossible to push to where you're gonna nudge it and go past your setting. Hop-ups are different on different rifles. For example, this M200 Intervention has a Allen key hop-up from the top. It's kind of a pain, and I don't really like doing it. You have to make sure that your setting's perfect before you can even put a scope back on with this guy, depending on how high or low your scope is. On the Silverback SRS, this has a basically 2-pronged hop-up system where it's got 2 45-degree angle nubs so that you can adjust the left or right. It's very different. It takes a very tiny Allen key, and I also found it kind of a pain. My SSG 24 with the M40 body, it works the same way as any normal SSG or regular VSR 10 with the external hop-up on the left side, which I like. My original Tokyo Marui VSR 10, same thing, external hop-up on the side, nice and easy to adjust. This looks like my SSG with the M40, but it's not. This is the ASG M40 Pro line. This has got the weirdest hop-up that I really don't like, and that is a rotary hop-up on the bottom of the gun right here, which it's fine and it works well unless you want to put your hand here. You're going to constantly adjust it, so you need to put tape over it, which I recommend even on a regular rifle, depending on how hard it is to adjust the hop-up, to put some electrical tape over it. And then like on my Ares MSR, it's also got a hop-up system with an Allen key on top. I personally don't prefer using that system. I like a gun with a hop-up that's external, that's adjustable, and that you can rock and roll with. Some guns take a lot longer to break in, so when you get your new gun, whatever it is, make sure that you're patient with it. Make sure that you take the time to sight in your rifle and you take the time to break in your gun. Don't freak out about velocity and energy. If you're just over whatever your field limit is, when you first get a gun, you'll be able to break in that spring, at least some. Some springs break in more than others, so have a little patience and don't freak out. What I don't like is people first getting a sniper rifle and being like, this is terrible. You want to make sure that you have an advantage over an AEG when using a single shot bolt action rifle, so give it a chance to break in. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video. Thanks for watching. Keep it safe and real out there. Peace. What's up guys? Swamp Sniper here, and I just got one of the coolest things ever.
robot UGV from Black Lion Team. I bought it from them. And I just need to throw a Polar Star jack back in it, get it shooting, have a first-person view headset and stuff. I can operate a mile away, and I'll throw like a Brain Exploder run cam on it so that I can get some cool gameplay video with it. Let me know if you want to see some gameplay with this bad boy, and maybe eventually we'll put the micro gun on it. I don't know.